Hello and welcome back. Once again, it is time for the Golden Age of DC Comics, 365 days, where I take this beloved hardcover coffee table book given to me about 2 decades ago by one of my best friends. This has been surfing my coffee table ever since, and it has been a constant source of comic book shop style conversations. And I just love talking about comic books. And if you love talking about comic books too, then you are at the right place at the right time. This is a 2004 Abrams press publication, written and curated by Les Daniels, Chip Kidd, and Geoff Spear. There is a link in the description to the Amazon page where you can get your own copy. It makes a great gift for a geek, and it would look good on your coffee table, and you can play along at home. Alrighty, I usually also insert something called the escapism caveat. I have its own video now, so I'll put it here at the end of the video. You can check it out. How to balance the needs of activism and advocacy with our escapism, our attempts to leave behind this world's problems. I mean, I get into it in full-blown detail. I air it out a bit. And I felt like it was clogging up my intro. And it does better justice to put it at the end of the show. So it is September 1st. Hi, we've made it to September. Summer's almost over. Indeed. And we're taking this book, this 365 days book rather, for its intended purpose. I'm going to open up to today's date. We're going to look at some comic book art of an antediluvian age. We're going to read the blurb, and then we're going to talk about comic books. And we talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. It's happening. I hope you've been tuned in. I have. Let's do it. The golden age of DC Comics runs between 1938 and 1955. The Silver Age between 1956 and 1970. The Bronze Age, I'm a Bronze Age baby, runs between 1970 and 1985. And the Copper Age begins in 1985. I get these standards from the glossary of the most current edition of the Overstreet Price Guide. I feel that's a great place to start, having conversations about the different ages and having some standards in which to structure this important conversation, such as what age are we currently in, what age did we just leave, and what age do you think we're heading to? I just can't personally accept that since 1993 until now is some nebulous, huge modern age. I think there's a lot of room for a little bit more delineation, and I'm here for that. Thank you so much. So let's get to it. I hope you're feeling awesome. I hope you're doing awesome. I hope you're clobbering your problems and not being clobbered by them. So let's get to it, and let's talk about clobbering. All right. It is September the 1st. This is art by Sheldon Moldoff from the cover of All American Comics number 21, December of 1940. The United States had not yet entered World War II. It would be another year or more. And it's old friend Alan Scott, the original Green Lantern, who started it all when it comes to Green Lantern's power rings and the emotional spectrum. So let's read this blurb, and we're going to get to it a bit. Green Lantern was usually drawn in the simple cartoonish style favored by his early delineators, like Martin Nodell and Erwin Hassan. However, from time to time, he showed up on a cover by Sheldon Moldoff, who provided the hero with the same intensity that he brought to his work on Hawkman. Green Lantern's miraculous ring gave him the power to do almost anything he wished, although Wood was mysteriously immune to his charms. Yet somehow, as this dark, dramatic, and detailed cover reveals, nothing was quite as satisfying as a good old American punch in the nose. Pow! Look at that. I believe we call that a strong punch in comic book parlance. It's in the follow through. You see speed lines. You see like an impact ray, or an aura, one could say, around the fist itself, and that is to simulate or convey the power of its impact, its literal impact on his opponent. Yeah, that's Green Lantern, Alan Scott. Let's just give our little refresher. Alan Scott first appeared in All American Comics, number 16, in July of 1940. He had his own title for a long time, and begat the Silver Age Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, and the modern Green Lantern Corps that we know today. And I am a huge Green Lantern fan. I loved seeing Alan Scott as a kid and as a young adult because he was used for few and far between, and he had a very unique look. He had this purple cape. He had this red tunic with the Green Lantern logo on it, and he had green pants. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he had green pants, and his powers were just a little different. And every kid knew the difference between Earth 1 and Earth 2. It was just, you don't explain multiverse to kids. Kids explain multiverse to you. And that's just the way it goes. Alan Scott has been an active Green Lantern for basically almost all of this time, give or take, 10 years in the Silver Age. But during Justice League of America in the Silver Age, there were lots of crossovers between Earth 1 of the Justice League of America and Earth 2, the Justice Society of America. So it always played well. And one thing, one of the first comic books I ever bought, see, I was aware of Alan Scott, Green Lantern, before this, but this is a memory, it's indelible, and I have just found out the issue and the publication history of a very special comic book that I'm going to get a new copy of after all these years. It is DC Special Blue Ribbon Digest number 3 with a cover date of August of 1980. It was published on April 8th, 1980. Yeah, that's the birthday of my first best friend, Brian Massey. That's true. But I must have got it somewhere in between because it was still on the spinner rack. I've told this story a few times. I'm at my uncle's birthday party. I'm 7 years old. And I cut my leg open, my thigh, on one of these lawn chairs. We called them lounge chairs. And they had three panels in which you could adjust it. And I was really inconsolable. I was bleeding like a stuck pig. And I still have a scar. I'm looking at it right now. I have a scar from that. And my grandpa gave me $1 and to go down to the corner store and to get an ice cream or a soda or something that's going to, make me happy. Maybe it was more than $1 because this had an unusually high cover price for the time of 95 cents. And there were reprints of older issues as well because I did some, I looked up the story. I remember it very clearly because this story is reprinted from All-Star Comics number 58. This was a cover date of February of 1976, so that means it probably was released in November or December of 1975. Way too young to have used money or gone to the corner store myself, and they would never have had a back issue on a spinner rack that long. But now after seeing the cover of this, it's just all coming back to me. This had a story that story reprinted from All-Star Comics number 58. Dr. Midnight and the JSA computer. There were geological emergencies taking place all across the globe. The Justice Society splits into teams of 2 in response to each emergency. So you had Hawkman and Dr. Midnight investigate something in Seattle. You had the young hero, Star Spangled Kid, on his. They decided to hold back on him to see how he does on his own. They find the young hero, the All-Star Kid, active on the scene and decide to hold back to see how well the kid does on his own. Hawkman decides if things grow beyond his control, then they will intervene on his behalf. So the Star Spangled Kid, he was a little kid in the original comics with the adult sidekick, Stripesy. Now he's a young man, and he's going to change his persona eventually to Skyman. Green Lantern and Dr. Fate go to South Africa, where they encounter Richard Grayson, and who puts on his brand new, he puts on his Robin costume, which is the adult Earth 2 Robin costume. And this was probably one of the first times I've ever seen this particular version of Robin, but I knew who Robin was. I knew this was Earth 2. This was a grown-up version of Robin, and he stayed Robin. But he had just had pants on and long sleeves, but he basically had an updated outfit cast in his almost traditional look. It was really awesome. But all the same, a young woman shows up, a super-powered young woman in white with a red cape, with a boob window, showing lots of cleavage, and we find out that this is Power Girl. Yeah, and this was Power Girl's first appearance. And I remember this comic book very well. It's very dear to me. And it had Alan Scott, the Green Lantern, in this. And so this was one of the first comic books I ever bought with my own pocket change, with my own spending money. And I remember this because of that day. It was a hot day. It was a barbecue. I cut my leg, and I got this comic book. And I'm looking forward to picking it up again. It's on my list of comic books to find when I'm at a comic book convention or even at the comic book shop. And I'm going to find this comic book, and I'm going to show it on this very show. I love talking about comic books, and we've been talking about comic books, and we're going to be talking about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and we'll find out who we're talking about when we turn the page tomorrow. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. We make daily content here. We talk about comic books. We talk about cooking. I'm a professional chef. I have a playlist called What's Cooking. I'm also called the Sultan of Soup. I hear my soup videos are pretty popular. They're beautiful, they're nutritious, they're delicious. Come on by and have a taste. I'm a spiritual guy, an ordained minister, an amateur theologian. We get spiritual here. I talk about gratitude, gratitude lists, and how it develops a better sense of purpose. I would love to pay this forward to at least one person in my life, and because this is a great skill, and I'm really sold on it, and I think someone like me could benefit from this too. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. And we will catch you again tomorrow. Same bat time, or same Sully time, same Sully station. All right. Cheers. Good luck. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.